Good evening, guys. Welcome to today's market debrief. Okay, we'll start off with the S&P 500 index. What we have here is that the S&P 500 index has been trading down towards its and recently tested its support region, roughly about 3220 area. Okay, so it reached here. It basically tested that about last Friday or on Friday night. Okay, so what happened is that in on the 2 weeks ago, roughly around here, 14 October, and again in on the 21st October, where I did my debrief video, that I've mentioned that there's a high chance the S&P 500 index is going to retest this support place. Okay, so very fast in this week, this Friday, last Friday night, it tested this area again. Okay, so this is the first time it tested in September, and now it's testing again on the last day of October. Okay, so what happens is that I mentioned that this is a high, the all-time high, and here is a lower high. So there's every possible way of it's possible that it's going to retest this area, and it has done so. So what we are facing right now is actually coming Tuesday, we are having a US presidential election. So a lot of the investors are taking a risk-off approach, because there are a lot of uncertainty in the market. And on top of that, the US White House has declared that they are not going to try to control the coronavirus. Okay, so that spells a bad thing for the overall US market. And people may think that there'll be no lockdown, no shutdown, but the thing is they are not able to travel out of US. Okay, and we do not know what's going to happen when the new president is elected. Either Trump is elected or Biden is elected. Okay, and we do not know what is going to happen thereafter. Okay, so there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. Okay, so what happens? The Dow Jones also similarly retest or even make a new low in this pattern. And even Nasdaq is like a stronger index among the three, but it still retests this so-called support area. It's been trading a lot around in this region, roughly about 10,900. Okay, so this is what is happening in the US. So there's a lot of volatility in the week ahead. So what happens is that the gold market has also been trading down. What we, in But the actual fact that it is in a big consolidation. If we look at previous time, it has done this type of big consolidation. It will take like several months, even like this. It will take several months for it to consolidate. So this is also likely going to take several months for it to consolidate. Okay, so that's for the gold. Now in the Asia market, what we have in the Hang Seng Index is that last Friday had a lot of sell down. Okay, so I will say people are jittery, or they are taking their money funds out, and then getting ready to invest in Ant Financial IPO. Okay, so that is still questionable. Okay, that view is questionable, but mainly I would say the main thing is investors are taking a hands-off approach until there are certainty in the US presidential election. China, since I've mentioned here in the beginning, right in July, mid-July, I've mentioned that China is going to be in a big consolidation phase sideways. Okay, so it's going to stay there for a while. Straits Time Index, the Singapore market it's been quite weak for the last week. All right, it has been trading down for 5 days consecutively, and it's big range bars. Okay, so what we can say that is with this support being broken, there's a high chance that it will retest this so-called area of 2320. Roughly, it was made in March, this area where it dropped down, it rebound, and then it retests again. This is like an offshoot. Okay, so this is where the support will be, 2320. Okay, so there is a likelihood that it might trend down to that position. Okay, so that is on a short-term basis. Hopefully, this forms a big consolidation pattern, and then it might we just have to see how it reacts to this support region. Now on to Singapore stocks. There are not much stocks to look at, as it is most of the stocks are all on the downtrend. So some of the stronger stocks. Okay, this is iFast. Okay, previously I already mentioned about this consolidation, and then thereafter it broke off, and it rallied quite well. Okay, so at this moment I would say a lot of the so-called people had taken profit in this stock. Okay, we are starting to see a lot of selling happening over here. All right, and then thereafter we have quite a lot of selling on Friday. Okay, so this is a very long way or big gap with the 200-day moving average, so there is every chance, very high chance, that it will reconsolidate back or pull back, deep pullback. Okay, Samcorp Industry. Okay, Samcorp Industry had a nice rally, a few days rally. So just on this day, 28th October, where I did the market debrief, I've mentioned or shared that the Singapore has launched electric bus. Okay, so this electric bus, if you notice, right, most of the like SG cars, these blue SG cars for rental, is running on electric, and you see most of the charging stations, right, they had a Samcorp logo on them, which means to say, I would say Samcorp is providing most of the electricity for these charging stations, and most likely because of these buses, right, that they are most likely going to be using Samcorp also, government helping government linked companies. So that I think that is the reason why, because this is going to, they are going to change in future to mostly electric buses running on our public transport. So if now looking at this, right, most of the other oil and gas, like its previous sister company or subsidiary, Samcorp Marine, is basically going down the drain, all right, downwards, and therefore that's why Samcorp so-called cut Sam Marine away in the so-called rights issue over here. They pare down their debts and then transfer everything to Temasek Holding. Okay, so Samcorp has cleared of Sam Marine. Now they do not have any oil and gas division in their company. Okay, so if we look at oil and gas companies like Keppel Corp, you'll see that Keppel Corp has not been doing very well of late. Alright, so it's just that last Friday, due to earnings, it shows that Keppel Corp has returned to profitability. Okay, I think this is expected. Okay, bearing in mind that they had a so-called, they make a huge provision over here to plunge it down as a loss making for the quarter. Okay, so if they take that provision out, definitely is a profitable company. Okay, so therefore this Friday, right, there's a huge rally, lots of buying happening. So most likely for Keppel Corp, right, that right over here is going to form a base of support for it to consolidate. So it might take some time, this 200 days moving average to move all the way down to like 460 470 area. Might take all the way until like February if you just draw this line continuously down. Okay, so probably will end up in like February before the consolidation ends. Okay, so it will take some time, 3-4 months. So now with the resurgence of the COVID-19 in Europe and in US and in India, Asia has controlled it quite well. So, but with the resurgence, so-called like third wave, fourth wave happening in Europe, with many of the Europe cities shutting down, closing their borders. I think Ireland had already shut down their borders. Okay, so we should be, I do not know if there are any more upside to all these PPE manufacturing companies. So let's look at the first one, MedTech. Okay, so this is MedTech International. So previously it had this tremendous run. Okay, so thereafter I think this is the so-called end of it. All right, and then it plunged down and tested this so-called psychological support, no $1 support. Okay, and thereafter it's been trying to rally, but so-called failed. Okay, so what happens? I would say this is will continue to consolidate for a while, and well, we have to see how the situation is. So I think uh, in terms of competition, there are a lot of competition out there in making PPE equipments. Okay, so I think that will kind of like damn their earnings, in the future. So this is Riverstone. So Riverstone, as mentioned before, is going to be consolidating. So the good thing is that there is a so-called moment or temporary support roughly at the 360 area. Okay, so I would say here we will consolidate for a while. This is a nice little rally on Thursday. Okay, so this is a pullback, so this is good. It's a good sign. So from here, I think we can look for opportunity for it to move up. I think the bigger potential will be Top Glove. Okay, the reason for this is because Malaysia COVID. Okay, so Malaysia had been recently on a uprise. Okay, and then recently they had news, reporting that a lot of their so-called police are placed under quarantine orders to stay at home, like 10 over thousand police officers in the KL area, Kuala Lumpur, their capital. Okay, so with Top Growth being a Malaysian company, most likely the demand will be there. Okay, hopefully Malaysia can get it under control, so that we can open back our borders together with Malaysia. So at this moment, Top Growth compared to the rest like MedTech and Riverstone, Top Growth has been trading quite near its all-time high price. Okay, so this give it more of a potential or so-called relatively stronger price performance compared to the rest. Okay, so most likely it will take some time for this 200 days to move to catch up. So most likely we have to wait for it to finish this consolidation, and then also monitor the situation in Malaysia. Okay. Okay, Mapletree Logistic had a rights issue. Okay, so recently it has done a so-called X-right to fund its purchase of properties, remaining equities in Malaysia, Vietnam, and China. Okay, so therefore the price has dropped. Okay, and retest this. So overall, these are some of the few companies that is still trading above this 200-day moving average in terms of the big cap or blue chip stocks. All right, so this is especially it's mainly the logistics sector. Okay, the stronger ones is like Capital DC REIT. Recently has been added into the STI component index in place of Capital Commercial Trust that has merged with Capital Mall. Okay, so this is Capital DC, and this is they mainly deal in data centers. Okay, which I would say is more like the it's more future proof, because the need for data centers is increasing, by the day. All right, so Capital DC REIT is quite nicely positioned for the future. Okay, so at this moment it's been trading sideways, but in terms of yield, it's not that lucrative. It's about 2.8% at this price point. Okay, so a lot of investors are trading more on the future capital gains, you know. So since its listing has been making new all-time highs, all right. Okay, so this is quite a very nice rally. The industrial sector. Okay, this is Maple Tree Industrial. Okay, so recently, last week video I mentioned that actually 2 weeks ago I've mentioned that the industrial sector is giving a lot of mixed signal. You know, sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's weak. About 2 weeks ago, somewhere around here. Okay, comparing this with a Sanders REIT and all that, and then suddenly it just turned weak. Okay, so it's been retracing back for the past 2 weeks. Okay, so right now it's testing this support area. Okay, and then we start to see this high volume coming in. Okay, so I believe there are buyers already starting to come in support of this support area. Okay, so we might be seeing a possible rebound, you know, so we like to see how this rebound turns out. If the rebound is weak, then very likely it's going to break the support. Some of the stronger ones are like HPH Trust. Okay, HPH Trust recently had this strong rally. You know, previously I mentioned about this. It's getting very tight. You know, something is about to happen, and then it rallied off, retest this, pull back, and then it broke off again. So right now it's consolidating. You know, this is a very big move, so it might take some time for it to consolidate. With this 135 going to be the support area. Okay, and then for the short term resistance, this 150 will likely be the resistance. Okay, so it might just consolidate here for some time. Parkway Life REIT, you know, some of the stronger REITs in Singapore. So, but currently is in a consolidation phase. You know, doing this pullback after this big run over here. Okay, some of the due to the recent 5 days drop, you might want to see some stocks that had dropped quite a bit. Okay, so this is city development. Okay, it has dropped for like more than a week due to news that Quek Ling Pek resigned suddenly from his director's role. Okay, so it has dropped this. So we can see that right over here the selling volume has so-called waned. Okay, so meaning to say I think buyers are starting to come back in. So you're likely to see a rebound from here. Okay, so one thing is also because it's very near this recent March low. Okay, so the I won't say investors, traders are looking in comparison with this. Okay, so there's likely to be probably one day retest here and rebound or something. Okay, so but if we look at a bigger perspective, okay, this is CityDev, like, you know, it's all its prices. It has been trading on this support line. Okay, test rebound, no, test rebound, test rebound, test rebound, test. Okay, just this line. This is the trend line. So recently, back in March, it also retest this place again. Okay, this purple line. You can see this green. Retest and then rebound. Okay, so now at this moment is coming down to retest this price point, roughly about $6.30. Okay, so I will say this is likely to be a buy point. Okay, to trade rebounds, you know, for traders looking for opportunities for a short-term gain. So this is city development. Okay, so there's nothing much for Singapore market. So what we can see is like for the Hong Kong market is getting interesting. Okay, some of the tech stocks like this BYD have been mentioning this since here. It did this rally and consolidate and nice cup and handle pattern, and then it broke off. Okay, so it's been rallying for some time. Okay, there is also this Tencent that has also recently broke off. Okay, so it might start to trend up from here. You can also look at Alibaba, with its Ant Financial IPO coming up on what 5th November. It's first day listing on 5th November, which I think is coming Thursday. So we can look forward to that. With Alibaba owning 30% of Ant Financial. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Just be careful for the coming week. The coming week is going to be very volatile. With the U.S. presidential election and the Ant Financial IPO, and the rise of this third wave, fourth wave COVID in the Europe and in the US. Okay, so stay safe, guys. Okay, thank you.